Thank you. Love like ours can never die, even when dark clouds hover by.
Boo yourself. This'll get her. Curses, a arch rival. But he shall not have her. Oh, my trusty lariat.
My love, nothing shall ever part us.
Take that!
Where am I?
Get out of that. Ah, my prairie flower, fly with me. What do you say, Toots?
But I do not love you, sir.
You shall have diamonds, like those sparkling eyes of yours. Blue-white diamonds.
No.
No? Oh, pearls. Blue point pearls. Oh,
No.
pearls. Genuine moth-proof. Rabbit.
No, no.
Don't be a fool.
No, no. No, no, 1,000 times no. You cannot buy my caress. No, no, 1,000 times no. I'd rather die than say yes. 2, 3, 4. No, no, 1,000 times no. You cannot buy my caress. No, no, 1,000 times no. I'd rather die than say yes.
So you spurn me.
Oh, don't!
Philip the Fiend always gets his woman.
Freddie, help me!
It goes on.
I'll help you!
I'll save you, buddy. Here I come. I won't fail you. Here I come. Fearless Fred is on his way. Doctor. You can't take it, huh? Take that! Ouch! And that! And that! Take that!
Now she can't. Be mine, or we all die. Here goes.
Hark! you, Betty. Here I come. I'll save you. Hey, no. No. Thank you. What you say? My Betty. Oh, I'm finished. Thank you. Thank you.
And one fish, two fish. And one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. One fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. Okay, I think we're good on Twitch. Let's go take a peek in on the YouTube, see how it's sounding. Okay, I think we're good on Twitch. Let's go take a... All right, YouTube is good. Twitch is good. Let's start texturing the angel outfit. I think I've got all the parts modeled out and tentatively set up in Daz. So today we're going to focus on setting it up for the texturing. Maybe I'll have to might remap the headband though. Let's see how that's looking. I think I can actually, do I want to sneak it on its own? You know what? I'm going to leave the headband on its own. I think the headband will get its own sheet. I think the boots are on a sheet. The wings are on a sheet. And then I have the dress, the panties, and I have these straps that'll hold the wings on. So that's all on one sheet. So that makes 4. So I think maybe, do I want to bring all of this in to substance at once? I think we'll be fancy to try to do that. So yeah, let's do that. Hey, Daz is launched, but I can't see chat anymore. There we go. Oh, I got a tickle, and I'm hungry. I do have a hot dog, so if occasionally you see the camera close, I'm probably taking a bite of a hot dog. I got my water. I got my coffee. Coffee's in the Sarah mug. Water will go into the... Actually, let's use the Liverick mug for that. We just used the Rod Shelley mug over the weekend. I don't think I've used the Liverick mug in a little while. It's big, so it might hold the whole can. There we go. I love it when you pour that wouldn't fit into one of the other mugs. Okay, that goes over there to be disposed of later. Although I probably should have got a mug of milk. Anyhow, let's get the parts in here. We'll color them up. Yo, DJ Ray. It's a 3, 2, 1. DJ Ray Part A. All right, so I think we're going to set them up in here. I think for matte files, we will use one matte file for the panties, the dress, and the little straps. I think the boots will get their own matte files. The halo will get a couple of its own matte files, and the wings, maybe 2, maybe 3. I'm thinking I want to do white and black, and they're not going to be just white. I think it's going to be like white with a touch of color and black with a touch of color. So I'm going to work on those. Anyhow, oh. Here, we'll give a shit. We'll give a shout out to Mr. Ray here. Oh, there's Charles. That turned into a hot mess. Yo, Charles. I don't know if you said hi and I didn't just have the chat window open or not yet. Anyhow, let's get this stuff in here. You know what? I'm gonna put it on the figure. Dun 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 dun. So let's load, and we'll do the Genesis 9. So I finished rigging up the boots earlier today. I think we started those on Saturday. All right, let's pose the feet. There we go. Let's put the headlamp on. Let's switch over to texture shaded view. All right, let's put the boots on. So that's how the boots are looking. Let's put the dress on. Let's set up the headband. We got a pair of panties. I have these angel wing straps that go around the shoulders, and then we can just attach the, as if it were a costume. And there's the definitely way too big angel wings. I have a little bit of coffee with the Sarah mug. All right, let's go through and give all the different names, colors here. So we're going to do something like, actually, let's select that. And then we're going to have the boots, the dress, the panty, the little straps, and the angel wings. Then we'll just come over here. We'll just open all of this up. So each of these needs its own color. That's a lot of colors. Hopefully they don't have any of the same names. You installed the ceiling fan from hell yesterday. Oh no. Satan's ceiling fan. Okay, so many colors, so little time. Let's do the boots and blues. Oops. Let's head over to here. And let's dial down to, let's start there for the boots. And then I'm going to make different shades. 2 freaking days. Oh, dang, dude. Were you replacing an existing one, or this is just a fresh install? Boot liner. Boot heel. And I'm out of blues, so we're just going to boot cap. I'm going to do that, and then we're just going to change that color. Heel tip. And then we're just going to change that color. Insole. And we'll tweak that color. Laces. You replaced with a commercial. Oh. So and then sole edge. All right. So the boots are done. Let's do the angel dress. Let's do that in pinks and reds. I'm going to run out of those real quick here. So many bodice parts, so little time. Bodice front. Do I want to go ahead and make you orange? I don't think so. We'll come down here and maybe blush pink will be different enough. Laces. Magenta. And I still have all of these to do. So I'm going to, we'll desaturate that a little bit and maybe make it a little brighter. Zipper attachment will be basically that. Desaturate that a lot. Scoit. Let's just maybe make you darker. Skirt lace. Maybe make you lighter. And then skirt trim. We'll go back a little dark and a little muted. All right. 2 down. The halo. You know what? I'm going to do the halo in yellows because that just seems appropriate. And halo headband. Halo star. Halo star 2. That's actually a yellow. Olive is just a dark yellow. All right. Halo is done. We'll move on to the wings. I guess we'll do those in reds. I have a mystery thing in here. It won't go away. I have to figure out how to get rid of this. Because when I look at it with the geometry editor, it's not there. You see, I put a color on it. It didn't do anything. So. Oh, you're the straps, by the way. That's why I'm not seeing anything. So did I see a color there? I do see it. So there's that little anchor there. You know what? That can be the same color as the rest of this, honestly. So the wing straps can just be red. And then I think the wings will do in a dark red and the other red. Oops. And now am I almost done? I think so. I think I just have the panties left. And what do we got? Greens. We'll do the panties in greens. Yeah, we'll do that. Oops, I closed the surface tab. We'll start here. Panty front. Panty rear. Panty trim. Panty trim crotch. Oh, did I forget to do panty crotch? I didn't get the panty crotch, did I? Uh-oh. Did I say crotch out loud on stream? Oh, my oogly googlies. Yeah, we'll do that, and we'll just set that up as a desaturated version. There we go. So I think everything's got a color now. So I think we can export all of that out. We'll do a little bit of setting of stuff. By the way, Charles, how are you doing today? Did I shout out Charles? I did not shout out Charles. Oh, yeah. Just in case somebody besides Charles and Ray are here. All right, mass resolution is base. Excellent. That is base. That is, we'll switch that to base. I'll turn the smoothing off. Turn the smoothing off. And we'll set that to base. And we'll set that to base. And I didn't put smoothing on those. So we're going to export out the wings. Oh, the straps. What are the straps? I missed the straps. I did color the straps. The straps are at base. And they have my smoothing on. We're going to turn that off. Okay, now we're good. So we have our halo. Got my boots, my dress, my panties, the little straps, and the wings. So we're going to export that out. We're going to open up in Blender, smooth it, space them out a little bit. I think I'm actually going to pull the laces off of here and here for texturing purposes as well. And I do want a copy that's just going to be the panties and the dress and the straps. So before I split stuff up, I think I'm going to save out so I can use one material file that'll texture that or the little straps. And the boots. No, the boots will be separate. Okay. And I stopped thinking. I didn't. Here, let's just select all of this stuff. Let's export it. That was my export button. Let's come over to here's the whip folder. Let's make a substance folder. So let's save this Steller Angel outfit. So I'm just going to save that with surfaces. So accept that. All right, I'm going to put this away for a second. Oops, I closed everything. Stimpy, you fool. Oh, there's chat. Okay. Okay, so we're going to do a few things here with it in Blender. In here. So we're going to take that, and first things first, we're just going to shade smooth. Then what I want to do is I want to, actually these three parts I'm going to leave together. And then we're going to set, and then I'm going to save that out. I'm going to make a copy of that. Actually, so let's make a copy of this. Shift D. I'm going to hide that. I'm going to select tab in, and we should be able to just select, actually I can probably just do this, right? I should turn the X-ray on. We'll select the wings and get rid of those. I should do those by materials. That's easier to select them by. So we're looking for things called feather. There it is, feather small, select that. Feather large, select that. And die is good. And then, you know what, I can probably just select the boots like that. Get rid of those. Then we're just going to save this out for the purposes of making material files later on. So we'll use our DAS preset. I'm going to come over into here. I'm going to save you in the substance folder. It's just easier. And let's call that dress panty straps. And let's stay Steller Angel so I know what it is. And I want the material files for that. Okay, so that's good. That will come in handy later on. So I don't need that anymore. We're going to come into here. And now we're going to space stuff out for texturing. The halo's in a good spot. We're going to maybe move the wings a little farther away and definitely get those panties out of there. The boots are probably in a good spot. Although what I do want to do is I do want to get the lace off of this and off of this for texturing purposes. So let's select you, tab in. So let's get the wing selected. We'll do the same thing we did last time. We'll select the feathers. I'm just going to put that over there. This is so the different components don't end up kind of shading each other with ambient occlusion. Oh, I missed. Let's try that again. Let's see if I can get the panty this time. There we go. And we'll just put that over there. So someone in here, I think, is what bodice laces. So I'm going to select those. So I'm going to separate that. And then maybe put that over there. And then we'll kind of do the same thing with the boot laces. I should have named all of this boots. That's fine. And then we separate that. Tab out. Select those and G, X, and we'll just kind of put that over there. So that's our setup for texturing with Substance Painter. Also, I want to rearrange the UVs a little bit. And did I smooth this? I did smooth it. All right, let's go to UV editing. So right now, everything is like stacked up crazy on itself. Because we kind of don't want that. Actually, I can just rejoin all this back together, right? Probably be easier that way. Nope. So I'm going to select you, you, and you. Control J. So you're all one happy family. Going to do that. Am I still in? I am not. I need to be an X-ray. There we go. We're just going to slide you over one. So, is it GX1? There we go. And we'll just do the panties. No, the panties are good. Oh no, what the frick? My panties are screwed up again. Damn it. How about my dress? Is my dress screwed up still? No, I gotta re-UV map the goddamn panties. Arg. I redid those. But Substance Painter, fuck, actually Marvelous Designer effed me over. I think you're probably okay. Look at how tight that is. I'm gonna move that over 1, 2, 3. We'll move that 4. GX4. Put that up over there. Do that. And uh-oh. All right, never mind. 1, 2, 3. So GX3. All right, we're gonna get rid of this. I gotta fix this. We gotta pop back over into DAZ and see if I can fix this. Oh, oogly googly. So did I fix it with the don't you just hate it when this happens? G9 clothing, me. Angel. Let's load the panty in here and let's take a look and see if that's worked up beyond. See, that's fine. Okay, we're going to rework. We can fix this. We have the technology. I'm going to fit this to that. We're going to reshape it to this. And then resave it. And then I'm going to save it back out again. And then we can load it in and export it out. Okay, so what we're going to do is select you and fit to right in here. Fit to Genesis 8 female. Accept that. It's going to say, hey, I got to convert you. Yep, let's go with the Genesis 9. Let's call you full body. Let's accept that. All right, let's take a look in here. Let's come over to, let's see if I can get away with this. Let's take that and export it out. Yeah, I'll just G9 panty. Yeah, we'll do this. O2. Let's see if this works. Okay. I'm going to save that as a material file real quick, just so I don't have to redo all of that texture assignment. At least that's the plan. So we'll just do a material preset, panty IDs, and I'll just accept that. We impatiently wait while it thinks about it. Chris will have a little bit of hot dog while that's happening. Right. We're still waiting. And we're still waiting. What the hell, Daz? Come on, baby. I super believe in you, Daz Cooper. Hello, McFly. There it goes. All right. I think I can, I'm just going to hide that for right. No, I'm going to just delete it. We're going to be bold. All right, let's update the geometry on this with what we just saved. Fingers crossed. That one right there. 10,000. Accept. Yay, it worked. And there we go. All right, now let's go back to. Do I got the right one? I do. I have to rename these things. They still say G9, don't they? That's better. Okay. Rocky Road. Let's turn the mesh smoothing off. Let's make sure my resolution is set back to base. Then you know what? I'm just gonna save it over. Because why not? I'll just save it right over that. It's basically the same shape, but this one has the material IDs colored in it. So before I lose it, let's get this saved. So we're gonna rename you. So I did delete the other one. So you're gonna become G8 female. And I'm going to do this. And I'm going to overwrite that. And you are the Stellar Angel. We renamed it from Starlight Angel because I found there was a Stardust Angel. It was a published artist over at DAS. I thought in the interest of not getting too confusing, change the name on my product. So it doesn't, my brain would certainly mix those up. You are wardrobe, you are underwear, you are a bottom, and I'm going to accept that and hope for the best. And now we're just going to export that out. I did export that out already. Never mind. All right, let's put that down back into the DAS. All right, we're back into still setting things up. Let's import that Pante. That one right there. That's the material file. There we go. Put you over there. Let's pop back into layout. All right, I think I'm good now. Oh yeah, I have to in UV editing. We want the panty to be right there. Oops. So, GX2. And now when I do this, let's I can't tell what mode I'm in. I'm in object mode. Control J. There we go. A. All right. We're good. Actually, you are over here, aren't you? You were in the right spot. I didn't need to move you. And I can just nudge these back over. There we go. So we're just going to take those and gx minus 1. Nudge that over there. So basically I'm going to try to work on 3 maps at once in substance. So all the components are one in Happy Family. I'm going to save these out at 2K though. They don't need to be 4K maps. Everything else, you know what? Because of the way this is mapped, that really doesn't need to be 4K either. So I could even get away with probably 1K on those, but I think I'll do 2K, 2K. The boots will probably be a 4K map. That definitely needs to be a 4K, although maybe 8K. I don't know. I've closed the chat again. Dang it. I'll think about it. That could almost get away with 2K. I think I'll do 4. And I'm debating. I've played with using 8K in a couple of products recently. It does give me nicer level of detail. And given the textile density, it probably makes sense. Although Iray really sloppy, and then it's going to bring in an 8K map for the panties for the dress. So even though they're the same maps, Iray will load them in each time it needs a copy of it for each object. So maybe I'll just leave it. I can always upscale it later if I'm not happy with it, I suppose. Anyhow, let's export this out for substance. So we're going to do our 2 exports. Export number 1. This is going to be Steller Angel outfit. And this has got the IDs, so I'm going to say IDs. And we are good. So export that, and then we're going to do this once more. Like that. And this time we're going to turn the materials off. And this is going to say NM for no materials. And export that. Okay, I think I don't even really need this because I've now basically saved this, although not as a blend file, but I mean as an OBJ, right? I'm going to leave this on for just a few minutes though, in case I need Blender. And now we are finally ready to start getting Substance running. Adobe Substance Painter. Oh no. It says there was a billing error with my Substance account. What the heck? Did I still get... Are those Substance still... Are you still working? File, open. There shouldn't be. You just billed me yesterday. I don't know. Apparently, I think I'm still working, so I will check into what's going on with my Adobe account later. Because even though it says there's a billing problem, it's still it's still working. You know? What are we doing? We're in the whip folder. We're in the substance folder. I didn't do the right thing. I'm going to do file new, right? File new. And then we're going to select and we're going to go, hey, I'm in my substance folder. It remembered. I want that one. No, I want this one here with no materials. And that's probably good. And I'm using use UV tile workflow. I think that should be good. So here, let's put substance painter right there. Let's take a quick look. So everything's kind of laid out properly. So let's bake our mesh maps. Let's give myself a little bit more room that way. And I'm going to tighten that up so that I only have two. Maybe we'll pull you over here. We'll pop into here and bake the mesh maps. Bake selected textures. Let's see how this goes. This will probably run a little bit slower. Normally I just do it one time. We're basically doing it now 4 for each UDEM. While that's happening, I'm going to have a little more hot dog. Zoink. All right, checking the email. So there's a way where you could actually kind of see progress. I'm still chewing on the hot dog, sorry. But I kind of stopped it from doing that, hoping that it would help a little bit. All right, now I'm going to come back. There we are. There he is. I'm hoping I don't run out of room. That would be sad. Come on. Is it? It looks like it's over here in ambient occlusion or something. Baking 11 of 20. So what is 11? Like a normal map? Baking 12. All right, it got past 11. I can see a little. So we have 5 maps baking for each UDEM. And 1003, 1001 is the dress. 1003. Oh, it's these freaking wings. I mean, I guess that makes sense. That wing is like over 6 megabytes in geometry. They look kind of nice. All right, 14. We're making progress. It'll probably pick up speed after it gets through the wings. So the wing should be all the way to 15, I think. And then when it gets to 16, that should be working on the halo. And because it didn't have enough geometry, I added even more geometry yesterday. To kind of give it a little bit of thickness in the feathers. The feathers were planes, but when you looked at them like certain angles, they looked really bad, so I gave them a little more thickness, which basically doubled the amount of polys in the big feathers, which is kind of slowing things down. It works fine in DAS, but Substance is just taking, and this last one, it's probably doing the position map now. I don't know why the position map takes so long to do. I thought ambient occlusion or curvature. Maybe it's still working on the curvature map. Curvature can take a while because there's so much going on. So many curves, so little time. Oh, my stream's going to be over before this finishes. Kidding. Still, this is a little painful. I should have gone to Adobe and said, see what's wrong with my billing. Uh-oh. I think my stream's buffering. 15. I've gotten to 15. I don't know if y'all can hear me or not. Once we get past 15, once we get into 16, it should go fairly quickly. 16. All right, we're on 16 now. 14 was the bugger. The curvature map. Ambient occlusion was slow too. Not gonna lie. 16's going slower than it should. Damn you. You're making a liar out of me. Once we get this done, we're gonna save it. I'm still on 16. Come on, 5 more maps to go. All right, it's done. Let's do a save here. Oh no, the panty. I have to rebake that panty. Damn it. Can I just select parts to bake? I can. I can just rebake. I can just uncheck these. I gotta reload. This isn't smooth. That's what happened. So I'm gonna reload this in. I think we can rebake that without having to wait forever. I'm gonna hit, however, we are first gonna just do a save as. And let's do that in here. Steller, Angel, outfit. There we go. Let's pop back over in the blender. This is why we still have blender open, right? Shade smooth. I'm just going to resave this a couple more times again. So we're going to resave that. And then we're going to, that was the wrong button. And then we're going to resave this with materials on. Okay, so let's re-edit project configuration, select. So let's do that. All right, there we go. Now let me see if I can just bake this. So we're just going to select that, right, and try to rebake that. I think that's how it works. No, you're on one. You're over here. I have to rebake that one. Three. Look at that. All right, we're slowing down a little on the ambient occlusion. I think that did it. All right, curvature is in process. Curvature's kind of slow too. The last one I think will go pretty quick. All right, we're done. All right, I'm going to hit save again. And let's pop over into... Oh, I got to do the ID maps, right? We knew that. Hopefully the stream's not freezing too bad. Let's see how this goes. And unfortunately, I got to bake the ID map at 4K. I did just hit save, so that's the IDs. Looking good. All right, let's tighten up those cages for better fidelity on that ID map. Okay, I got 4K, I got the object we're baking against, I got really tight cages, I have ID map selected, so bake. So, yay, that went fast enough. All right, let's come back into painting. Let's just take a look at the ID map. Nice. All right, we're going to save the ID maps out. The only one I really need is this one here. I don't really need the ID maps for the other ones. But here, we'll do that. Export texture. So what I'm looking for is one of the presets I made for ID map UDIM. There we go. And then we export that. Open up that output directory. I'm going to move these over to the whip folder. So that I don't think I need anymore. I think you are good. These are the 4 ID maps. Control X those. The only one I really need is this because I'm going to make displacement with it. Do I have a folder already open? Am I opening too many folders again? No, I'm not. I could have just used that. Projects. Angel and Devil. Angel. Let's just dump these into the whip folder here. I probably should make template files while we're at it. We can actually do that from over here. Let's pop over into UV editing. I'm going to just select everything. And what we're going to do is, it basically will only export whatever's sitting in here. So we're just going to do this 4 times. Export UV layout. You know, I'm going to do all of them at 4K, 4096. And come here, go up and over and into here. Starlight Angel and wings. I already have a feather template done. Yo, Art, how are you doing today? So this will be... I'm going to call this one Outfit. UVs. Export that. Now we'll move it over 1. GX -1. We're going to save the boots now. Export UV layout. I shouldn't have saved you there. That's okay. I'll sort out the template later. Stellar Angel boots, UVs. Export that. I already have the template for the feathers done, so we'll get the headband template. So GX -2 UV export layout, back over to here. Stellar Angel headband, halo. You say halo. There we go. Oops, I meant the UVs. There we go. Export ski. All right, done. I got those templates made. We are ready to start texturing. I'll switch over to material. And then I just have to, I think I'm going to put a lace in here. So I'm going to do white and black and maybe a gold. I'm trying not to go crazy. It's so hard. If I could, I would like have 20 or 30 texture sets with each one. And then of course the dirty versions, right? I don't really need to be texturing the wings, to tell you the truth, in here. So for the most part, we're going to ignore those. I probably didn't even need to bring them in. I think I can probably, or maybe we'll touch. Here, let's do, so I'm going to put a fill layer in here. We're going to attach it to just the wings. So here, we'll put a black mask on that. I'm going to change the color of that so we can kind of see what's going on. And I am going to want to height. I'm going to make a normal map. I can actually make the normal map. That's where this comes in handy. Never mind. And a color. I'm going to probably touch up the color with a little bit of painting and blurring. And, oh yeah, an opacity map. Let's load in. Import resource. Add a resource. I'm going to come over here and grab the feather opacity map. That's the current one right there. These I'm probably going to have to delete because they're not useful anymore. Import that. Oops. Let's put that identifier on there. Let's call you, I don't know. I'm just going to call you a texture. And we'll just bring that in for this project. All right, it's good. Let's put a color selector on here. On here. Let's select that color. And let's select that color. All right, let's set this up. So let's put the opacity map on here. So I'm just going to drag and drop that. And we don't see anything because we have to make a little change over here to be able to see the opacity, I think. Somewhere, I don't know, PBR metal maybe. And now we can see the opacity. And so I think I want to make a little... Yo, Cliff Stalling. Raid. Dude, how are you doing? What were we doing today? Was it music? Was it Pokemon? Was it the murder game? Spicy noodles. Hell yeah. 666 Heretic. Thank you for joining the raid. I appreciate that. I am making an angel outfit for Daz Studio. Bum, 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 bum. It's going to look something like that, but I'm in the middle of texturing it. So currently, music and murders. Tasty stream. It's good to see you, buddy. So we are currently adding textures to this stuff using Substance Painter. So here we are, texturing. And once again, thanks for the raid. Hey, Dyslexic Heart Baby. um, and now I forgot. See, I'm so excited. I forgot what I was doing. I'm texturing. I'm kind of working on the wings. Life's doing all right. I'm not dead yet. I think I'm getting better. You gotta run. Well, I appreciate the raid. It's good to see you, man. Yeah, have a good day. And everybody, check out Cliff Stalling. I think Charles just shouted him out. Yep, excellent. Charles is the best. Give him a follow. He's a super cool cat, does music, gaming, and sometimes I haven't seen him. I haven't actually caught one of your streams. Last time I think I caught you doing music. And sometimes there's Pokemon cards. So super cool cat. I'm thinking. I'm contemplating colors. You know what? I think I'm gonna crank you up to white, which I almost never do. Hope you have a baller. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Take care, buddy. I'm thinking. Do I want to use you? As kind of a. I can color. Can I color shift you, or do I need to make a color version of this and then resave it? I don't know. Let's try something like. Well, let's duplicate this. I'm going to duplicate that layer. And I think what I'm going to do is I'll turn the color off on that. And I'll turn the height off on that. Actually, I'm going to leave the height on that. And then we're going to bring you in for the height map. Nice. And then I think I'm also just going to add a normal map to that by putting a filter on here. So we're going to add a filter, and I'm just going to add a height to normal filter on there. So it'll generate a normal map too. It'll look kind of like that when we save it. That's a little strong though. I keep forgetting how strong this is. I think I'm going to punch it up a bit more than that. Maybe a little less than that. I think that'll make for a good normal map. Okay. Uh-oh. These colors are too close to one of these colors, so let's tweak. Let's tweak that. Let's change the sensitivity on that. That did not work. I'm probably going to just have to mask that off then. Dangity dang it. What color are you? Did I not use different colors? You look like you just might be the same colors. I can fix it. I have the technology. I think. I don't know. Let's try. Can I just paint on here without painting on? Let me try something. Let me use add a paint to that. And then if I look at my normal map, that's a little wonky. What happened here? It was looking good, and then I did something. All right, let's back up. I'm just going to undo. Yo, Tesno Pesno, how are you doing, buddy? I broke something. Can I just edit undo? Undo add filter? Undo set source? Undo add channel? Been better, been worse? All right. I know. I'm gonna start over. I've completely confused myself. What is going on with this? It's like something done broke. All right, let's do that. Let's set you up with an opacity map. Let's drag and drop that in. Let's pop back over to material so that looks correct. Let's also use you as a height map. So let's turn height map on and do that. I'm going to turn the color map off. Let's add a color selector to this. So we'll put a black mask on. I'll add a color selection, and then I'll use that color and that color. And we'll put the normal thing on. And thank you for the Tesno command, Mr. Charles. Yeah, check out Tesno Pesno if you can too. Super cool DJ. Here we go. Let's do this. Let's add a filter. I'm just going to do a good old height to normal on there. Let's take a look at my normal now. My normal is not. Oh, I need you over. Okay, filter's in the wrong spot. I need the filter on this one. Add the filter. Height to normal. There we go. That's kind of what I wanted. Okay. Although I remember we wanted to adjust the strength there. All right, that should be fine. And then I'm just going to put a fill layer in here for the color map. What am I doing? I am going to add a black mask, right? I'm going to switch over to material. I'm going to hit save while I still can. I'm just going to take you, black mask. Oh yeah, color selector. Apply that and apply that. I'm going to use you for the color. I think I'm going to just maybe here, and let's put another one in here. And this one's going to be the actual color, I think. I'll also put a black mask and a color selector on there. I probably should have just grouped these together and then put the color selector on the whole group. That would have been the clever person thing to do. I'm going to blur you a little bit. And we're going to set that to, I don't know, one of these things like linear burn or something on top. And I might do something like that. It would be nice if I could colorize this. I mean, I guess I can colorize this, right? All right, I think I'm going to live with that for right now. I might touch it up in Photoshop. Let's move on. So let me kind of just group all of that together. Group layers. I'm going to call that wings. All right, I'm going to do a basic fabric for this. So here, I'm going to turn that off. And I'm going to say fabric. And I'm going to adjust you so I can actually see all of this stuff. Come over here, and I am looking for stylized cotton skirt. Let's see how you look. No, I don't like that. I don't feel like doing a silk for this, so I'm looking for... Wait, what are you? There's a... I thought that maybe it was the stylized skirt is the one I was thinking of, and it's just not looking the way I really wanted it to look. Maybe a fabric linen, and we just tweak the tiling on that. Cotton, maybe it was cotton. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go with cotton. We'll tile up the... tile that up. Like so. I'm going to switch that to kind of a light blue. Okay, we're going to add a little bit of detailing to this. So here, I'm going to maybe do like that. And if I pull you back here, yeah, I got to pull those out. You know what? Can I copy... Copy the mask? I see an export mask. There's copy mask. And then come to this. And can we paste mask? Paste into mask. Did that work? I think that worked. And then I can get rid of these. Remove mask. No, I think I'm going to have to redo the mask. It's just not working. Let's try removing that mask. I lost it. I lost it. Copy mask, paste in the mask. Why am I not getting remove mask? There we go. I'm going blind. Remove mask. Okay, let's come. I know it's a hot mess now. Let's come up over here and add a black mask. And then can I put a color selector on there? That's not quite working, is it? Because it's still covering the everything else. All right, let's put... That's not quite doing what I needed to do. So let me see if I can touch just that up and still have the other part selected. My color, you know what I can do? Maybe I'll just reload in the ID map. Here, let's do that. We can make some changes with the ID map we saved in Photoshop. That might be the easier thing to do. Open with Adobe Photoshop. No, Photoshop's opening. Is my name still in here? No. My name used to be on but that wasn't me. That was some other Chris Cox. So at one time there was another Chris Cox that worked at Adobe, and his name or her name, it could have been a gal, would show up in the load up screen. I once had somebody email me complaining about something in Photoshop. And when I told them they had the wrong one, it goes, well, it's still broken. All right, dude. So we're going to change the color on these sections in here. I think what I'm going to do is maybe... No, I'm not. I'm going to do it like this. Doink, 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 and doink. Right? Is good. We'll come over into here. I'll say new layer. I'm just going to fill that in with white. Right? We just do that. And what we're going to do is we're just going to just tweak the opacity so that and I don't think I've got colors like that. And then we'll just flatten and resave. File, save as. I want to replace it. Hell yeah. Oakley dokley. All right, now we'll update in here what we are going to look for. Texture set. Is that where I can change this? No. Where is the layers? No. Texture set settings. Where's the spot where I can update the ID maps? I used to think it was in here. Okay, so that's what I normally work with. ID maps, right? So I want to change those colors for the ones I just saved. I think I have to load that in though to start with. Import resources, right? That one right there. I'm going to call you texture. Import that. Now I have to update the mesh maps. I haven't done this in a while, so I'm a little rusty. Not gonna lie. Is it somewhere in here where I can't see it? I used to think it was right here, the texture set list. But I guess not. Oh, I gotta Google this. Actually, let me check window. Shader settings, layers, texture set list, texture set settings. I don't know. Let me Google. Replace mesh map substance painter. To replace keep work, go to edit project configuration, edit project configuration. Select your new mesh in the mesh section and click update. No, that's not what I want. I didn't want to replace mesh, you stupid AI freaking substance painter. How to update mesh? I don't want to bake mesh maps. Explained how to swap one. No. How to replace mesh? How to import mesh maps into Substance Painter? How to bake mesh? Let's try this.
You deserve the best. At Harbor Freight, you can afford it. Performance, durability.
So we're going to start by creating a new file. We're going to pick our Marvelous Designer clothing. We'll leave our document resolution at 4K, and under UV tile workflow, we want to make sure that this is set to on, and we're going to turn auto unwrap off. And in order to get our UV map into Substance Painter, we'll go under import baked maps. I'm going to click add. Now for my UV map, I'm going to use the diffuse texture. You could use something like an opacity map or just a regular black and white UV map, but for now, I'm just going to use the diffuse. We hit open. And now that we're happy with all these settings, we're going to click OK. And just like that, we now have our UV map into Substance Painter. Now, one of the reasons that this is so valuable is if we were to try and use the texture maps that Substance Painter automatically generated, you'll find that it might have got some of the positioning of the textures right, but it's not perfect.
My way's perfect. Okay, that isn't telling me what I need to know. Mesh map, Substance Painter. Here, let's try this. That actually says mesh map. To automatically connect mesh map bake structures when the affected is possible. Creating custom. See, I don't know where it's hiding it. You know, I think the Substance Painter painting normal above normal. Replace mesh map, Substance Painter, Reddit. Is it possible to swap? How do I edit second normal? Paint or mask out mesh maps. You can order, bring it back, and alternately you can edit it. I haven't tried it, but it after baking maps, first add the bake mesh. Where are the bake map slots? That's probably not a real term. Substance Painter, baking mesh maps. How to export. That I can do. What is a bake map? Where is a bake? How can I bake? I don't know. Maybe we'll take a look at this. I'm going to probably scrub through this real fast. Okay, skip the ad. I think when it comes up, I'll be able to spot it. There's supposed to be a spot where each UV, like right there, is that what it is? Material. What are you? There's a thing called materials. Is that still a thing? This is 8 months old. I could. Do I have a material tab in here? Mesh map bakes. Why is that grayed out? Why am I not able to select my mesh map bakes? Mesh map settings. I can't get to either of those. Do I have to do that from my bake mesh map window these days? Yo, I'm only a big child. How are you doing? All right, let me take a look at this. I think I see what I'm looking for. It just won't show it. Views. Mesh map bakes. I'm not sure. Where are you? Oh, it was down there. I'm okay. Some soup of lentils. Window. Mesh map settings, mesh map bakes. That's not what I was looking for. Texture list. Can I? Nope. Back to paint. Channels, opacity. Oh, wait, there they are. Found them. It was way down on texture settings. That's why I couldn't find it. All right, I need to update. Can I just update the one? That would be too easy, wouldn't it? And then I lost the other ones because I touched it. Dang it. All right, you know what I got to do? I got to change these and rebake that ID map. I'm making an angel outfit, by the way, for anybody who is wandered in. Like, I'm only a big child. It's going to look kind of like this. And today I'm working on texturing it. So what I need to do, unfortunately, a couple of my colors are the same, so I'm trying to change them so I can work with them that way. Let's come back to layout. And I'm looking for, there's like some of these bodice colors here, bodice 4 and bodice 5. Chris, I gotta get up and cook dinner. All right, if you get back before we're gone, if you're not back before we're gone, have a good day, Charles. Or I will see you later, one of the two. Ladies and gentlemen, C.S. Bond has left the room. But that's okay, he's in the kitchen with Dinah. Something like that. I'm going to undo what I did here. Put those back. Because this doesn't allow me to just change the one map. Is there a way I could just change the one map? Nope. That would have been too easy. Anyhow. So I'm just going to change and rebake. And we'll do it over here. So bodice 4, I'm going to change the color on that. I'll just desaturate and darken a little bit. And we'll do the same thing with bodice 5. I think that should do the trick. And we do another export with materials. I'm going to come back over to here. I'm going to stop crying now. We'll come back into baking mesh maps and we'll rebake the ID map. So what I'm going to do is, let me make sure I have the latest and greatest version in here. And now we'll bake selected textures. And we are done. Okay, let's see how this goes now. Back to painting. Let's go back to material and let's see, is the back. All right, the back is now separated from the wings. Yay. All right, we're good to go. I think we can carry on. Sorry for that little detour. I hate the way this gets crooked. All right, so I got my base color on here. I'm going to add a couple of another color layers. Let's close you down. Let's duplicate this layer. And I'm going to put, actually, we're going to change the color of that. And I'm going to kind of fill that into the shadows. So we're going to add another, let's put a black mask. Let's add a dirt. Well, we'll add a generator. And we'll choose dirt because that goes into the crevices. And I think I'm just going to blur that out a little bit and lighten it up some. And then we'll tweak the, and I only want to do the color. Am I only doing the color on this? Yeah, we'll take those off. I'm going to put a filter on here. I'm just going to add a blur filter so I can kind of blur that out a bit. Did you not blur? You didn't seem to blur. Do I put the blur filter in here in front of this maybe? I wonder if someone successfully tried to use a computer's excess heat to cook a meal. I would not be surprised. Because honestly, I do use it as a heater somewhat. The rest of my house is about under 60 degrees during winter. This room, I've got this little, what I call a computer, but also acts as a heating element. Yeah, I'll just put this cup of noodles over here on my computer and oops. Yeah, that may not be a good idea. Although that reminds me of the time Mythbusters made a Thanksgiving meal with a car. They basically wrapped up everything and put it under the hood. I think they actually got the turkey to cook. But anyhow. All right, let's try this. There we go. I got an ad exactly. Oh man. I was talking about how my computer acts as a heater. Although if you have like your cup of noodles, you might not want to heat that up with your computer. That's just like a disaster waiting to happen. And then I mentioned the episode of the Mythbusters where they made a Thanksgiving meal with a car. The idea was you would cook the meal under the hood while you were driving to grandma's house. I think it turned out okay. I don't know if it had too much of a car taste to it or not. So I think I'm going to kind of do that with my color. I have a tendency of being a little too subtle, and then we're going to add maybe another layer in here. So I'm going to just duplicate that. I'm going to get rid of you. Can I just click and then we're just going to duplicate this. I'm going to use this as a highlighter now. Duplicate layers. There we go. Control D. You think I would remember something like that? I'm going to get rid of you. And we're going to add a generator. And I'm going to add an edge wear. Like that. And we're going to change this color to white. And we're going to dial that back. I'm going to put a black layer back in here just to help me see what I'm doing for a minute. Kind of like that. And then I'm just going to hide these two. So that is way too much highlighting. So we're just going to, and actually, if I put the blur there, we're definitely going to make that blur a lot less intensive. So I get a little bit of that fabric pattern in there. And then we're going to dial that way back. I'm going to lower the contrast. And I'm just going to pull that back that way. And you know what? I think I might just paint out and mask parts of the skirt so it's a little less. So I think I'm going to put a paint layer in here. And if I do that, but we'll do black and we'll do it light. So we're going to take you down to there. So that's too strong. Let's back off the... So I'm going to make you... That's probably good. And can we lower the stroke opacity? I'm going to lower stroke opacity way down. Maybe make it even larger. And a little, maybe harder. Maybe a little smaller because I want to get around those edges. So I don't want to. See, that's doing the trick. So I'm just going to come in here and just lighten those up a bit. And this is going to be on a light color, so I'm probably going to. Probably good. Uh-oh. So let's see how this looks when we put it over. Probably, and then over that. I think we're going to do that. And let me see. Is my cotton got a normal map on it? I'm going to add a normal map there. And I think I'm going to put maybe a lace pattern right in here. And then we'll look at doing the boots and leather. Kind of the same thing. I'll put that leather somewhere in here. And we'll also take advantage of these two. All right, anyhow, let's find my laces. And I really just want the opacity. I don't think I like that one. I've never been crazy about that one. This one I tend to use too much. But, you know, it's good. And then there's the floral. Let's try the floral lace. Put that right there. We'll tile that up. And I'm going to bring you down here. I just want the opacity on that, so turn off everything else. Actually, I like the height map on that. We'll take the roughness off. And we'll do that. And then we'll adjust the tiling. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. And do I also, maybe we put the lace, did I do you with a color selector? Oh, I should have, what I want is I want it right in here, but I think, is that whole thing? Yeah, because I think I need to maybe trim that off a little bit. Because my laces, I think, go across that whole... Is that the way I set that up? I did, didn't I? So, you know what? I just maybe want to strip through here with the lace on it. And maybe the lace on the back sides? I don't know. So, maybe we'll add a paint layer in here. That doesn't seem to be masking off the way I was intending it to. Why are you not masking off? Why, oh, why are you are a black? You know what? I'm going to redo this. Let's see how that works out. Remove mask. So here, let's add a black. Add a black mask. If I do, yeah, and then we'll put a paint layer in here. And I'll swap that for white. I think that's probably, that did not do anything. Are you painting on the color layer? I can't find. I'm just having one of those days where nothing wants to do what it's supposed to do. All right, trash you. Let's try. I didn't like that lace anyhow. Let's try that. Let's tile that up. And let me see if we can just mask that. So add my black mask, right? We add the paint layer on there. You are not doing anything. Let's switch you to UVs. Oh, it's so freaking subtle. I dialed it way back, didn't I? There's my problem. All right. Doy. And then I can, we'll re-add the color selection. So I'm going to put it there. I'm going to add it there. I'm going to mask it off these edges here. Like so. Something like that. There we go. That's what I wanted. Dang it. It keeps, I think the spacing's off on this, isn't it? Is that what's happening to me? I'm looking at, see the spacing. That's what's screwing me up now. Because I'm not getting a nice, neat. See, it's got this little, I've already set you to UVs. It's tangent wrapping. That's probably what's screwing me up. Let's try this again. Eventually I'll remember how to do this. There we go. That's that nice clean. I think we'll do that. We'll put a little bit of lace right down the middle. And then we have the lacing that's going to go over that. Nuts. I'm not sure how to line those up because I'm not looking at this in the 3D. I'm going to have to figure this out. Because I'm going to put rivets where the lacing goes. But I cleverly put the lacing somewhere else so it wouldn't change my, you know what? I can probably just reload that in and just do that and then save it back out. And it might actually be easier just to do this by itself. Now that I got these mesh maps baked. I don't know. All right, here, let's hit save. Anyhow, we know we don't want that red color, right? We're actually going to turn the color off on that layer. So I don't want the color. I don't want the metallicity. I want the opacity. I'm going to keep the height and the normal map. So I think we're going to go with that. I think I'm going to just add a little bit more. I'm going to run a little line here just to pop that edge a little on the height map. So let's just add a paint layer for that. This is just nothing but a little trim height map. So I'm going to just come into here, we'll switch you to UVs. I'm only going to do height map, and actually we'll do normal map. And I'm going to crank you all the way over here and make you small. So, I don't know, something like that, but smaller. And also, can I just do you with, I can never set that right. So you know what? We're going to put a filter on there for that. We'll just put the good old height to normal filter on there. And what I'm going to do is run this little bead like that there. I'm not paying on the UVs again, am I? I thought I am. You know what would help? Is that fine? That's probably fine. There we go. Yeah, that gives me a little bit of definition on both sides of that. I'm going to save this. Real quick, I'm going to make a color map that shows where the lacings touch everything, and then we'll save that back out. We'll do that for the boots. Anyhow, let's, so I'm going to pop back over here, and I'm going to save out a version of the dress and the boots with the lacings in front, just so I can see what I'm doing. Mark those spots, then bring that into the other one, and touch that up, and add the eyelets. This is I'm overly complicating things, I know. F5 substance. Do I have I have this right here. So I'm going to get you. Yeah, baby. Oh, that's got nice. So I'm going to save. Do you have the maps broken out though? You probably don't have everything mapped out right, do you? Nope. And you got the bad panties. I don't care about the bad panties. I just want, you know what? I just want the dress and the, I'm just going to delete the bad panties. Yep, I clicked on the wrong thing. All right, bye-bye, bad panties. And you know what? I don't need the wings. I think we'll just delete that just to speed things up a little bit. Feather small, select. Feather large, select. Delete that. For what I'm doing, I'm not going to need this. It's good. I actually don't need this either. All right, then we'll just save this back out. File, export. Actually, Stellar Angel outfit, eyelets. And I have a cap lock on. That's okay. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. All right, did I hit save on this? Yep, let's do file new. Actually, I gotta separate the boots from the other thing. Before I do that, UV editing. Everything stacked on top of itself. Tab in. Select that. AGX1. That'll probably be good enough. Export that. Come back over here. New project, select. Oh, I gotta do you with no whatchamacallits, right? Yep. Okay, export again. Turn the materials, turn the whatchamacallits off. And then I can export. There we go. I don't even want to, I don't care about smoothing this. I just want to be able to put little spots where my eyelets are on this. I don't even need to bake this because I'm just doing this as a reference. So the idea is we're just going to put little dots where all the lace touches stuff. So we just need a paint layer in here. I got a paint layer in here, and I got that, and we're just going to make you black. And I'm just going to try to center that up as best as possible over, like right there. So here, we'll make that hard. And I'm just going to double check and make sure you're going all the way through. You are. Okay. And maybe make you a little smaller. And then kind of line that up like there. And there. And then we will load this in on the other one and use it for the... Also, this will be handy for knowing where my lace should run through the middle. And I got to do this for the front laces on here, and we'll also do it for the boots. I think I can just mirror it for the boots. That's kind of symmetrical, so I can kind of get that knocked out of the way a little easier. I think you end there. You end right there, don't you? All right, let's get the, and I'm going to just mark out the laces. We can try to get this in the other one. It's getting really close to 4. And I've got something I'm going to have to do today. You know, maybe make you a little smaller. Put you there, and there. Oh, dang it. I'm going to undo those. Because I can take advantage of the mirroring for this one. If I can remember where it is. There it is. And let's see if this works. Let's pop over here and see if this shows up. I think that'll be good. Yep. Put you there, there, there. I don't think my eyelets are going to be that big, but this kind of shows me where I need to line this stuff up. No, I can't see. Oh, there we are. So I move these initially so that they don't occlude on the mesh underneath, but now it's working against me. Now I'm regretting that clever decision. Maybe I should have just let it occlude. And do I got all my dots over there? No, you did not line up right. You are not exactly symmetrical as I had thought. Wah. All right, we just have to erase the side of this. Let's turn the that off. Let's get the eraser. I think the eraser just does color. So I gotta still paint that side. I got 2 minutes to finish this up. So let's go back to the brush tool. So we are cheating the eyelids in these as textures. A little bump map, a little opacity, a little metallicity. All right, let's export that color map out. Ba, ba, ba. I don't need to save this, although I probably should. It's a Stellar Angel Boots Eyelets. And then we'll just export out, export texture. I just need the base color. I'm not doing a UDIM here, so just to do that and export that and open up the output directory. So I can take this. Let's put you all. Control X those. And it is 4 o'clock, so where's my, so we're going to call it a day right here. Once I put these into here, all right, it's saved. All right. So thank you all for being here. Let's find somebody to raid and call it a day. Do that. I'm going to go ahead and say save. All right, so I've made some reasonable progress with this. We are getting there. So I don't think I need to save you. I'm probably going to regret that. We'll see. You're probably fine. So anyhow, I don't have any textures to put on here just yet, but we are working on those. So that's where this outfit is for today. So tomorrow we will be back 7 p.m. Tuesday. I might still be working on this. I think Thursday I'm going to try to start the next outfit, which I'm thinking will be a 50 styles car hop. Yep. And somewhere I've got a bootleg version of car hops in bondage. Uh, so I don't know. Anyhow, we do that. I'm probably going to watch a little bit of American Graffiti just to see what the car hops looking at. My idea is though, I think I'm going to have like basically what's kind of a bowling shirt with shorts, one of those little car hop cats. Then we'll have roller skates, and I don't know if I'm going to put an apron on or not, and I might just reuse the menu ticket pad. So that's the plan for Thursday. Tomorrow night, though, I think we're just going to be back still working on stuff with this, depending on where I am. So I've been working off stream on doing the morphs. These laces just don't shape nicely, so they're taking a long time to do. So anyhow, thank you all for being here. Let's get out of here because I gotta get on a call in a few minutes here. And let's find somebody to raid and call it a day. Bum, 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 bum. Hey, if there's anybody over on YouTube, thank you. I appreciate it. Like and subscribe. If you're on Twitch, feel free to join the raid. We got a raid call here. I got a sub raid call here. If you're super cool and subscribed. Once again, Cliff Stalling music. Thank you for that raid. That was super cool. Everybody check out my man Cliff Stalling. Also, make sure if you're not following CS Bond, doesn't really stream, but heck, give him a follow. Maybe check out his Discord if you want. And who is on this beautiful Tuesday, September afternoon? Dum, dum, dum. I'm scrolling down to the bottom, and then I'm going to go back up, and we're going to find, we'll see if any of the art friends are on. Ike's World is on, so maybe we'll just raid her. You know, some of the art friends just haven't been on as much as they used to. Lady A3, I don't see much. Catherine, of course, just doesn't stream unless she's with SROM these days. SROM just streams late on Saturdays. Crazian's on. And I think we just raided Ike the other day. She is really cool, so you give her a follow if you could. That would be neat. But I think we'll go over and say hi to Crazian. Tattoo artist, and also does these really cool tiny paintings. So today, Crazian is doing a tiny painting, so let's go say hi to them. Anyhow, let's start this /raid. So anyhow, I hope you'll have a good rest of a Monday or Tuesday for those of you on the happy side of the planet. And let's do this. Control V. There we go. Raid has been started. I'm going to come over here. I'm looking for my raid call. I lost my raid call. There's my raid call. By the way, buy my stuff at Daz. Thank you all for being here. It's looking good. I can raid now. Alrighty. Hasta la vista, baby.